Ashley Daniels here for a Real Housewives of New York after show with Megan Stecher and Thomas Orlina. We have lots to discuss, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes. I like it. You know, it's never going to get old, though.
It's so weird to think about how many years that they've been on now.
Yeah, like we're seeing Bethenny by herself with the dog and Jill and
Yes!
Oh my God! Remember Bethany's old apartment?
Alex.
The white one with remember Jason? Jason?
The first Jason.
Yes.
Where she like would make dinner for
She
him.
made
and
lychee
be like,
martinis
so...
for first Jason.
Yes!
I remember those looked so
Yes.
good. She had like 4 of them. They like both like down like a ton of them, and it was just like, okay, we're totally like talking about like season 1 of New York. But guys, if anybody does listen to us, I would assume they're probably just as big of fans of the show as we are. They probably know exactly what we're talking
in
about.
the comment box.
Yeah, exactly. Hi guys, Ashley Daniels here. You can tweet me at Ashley Daniels, and to my right I have.
Hey guys, I'm Thomas Orlina. Follow me everywhere at Thomas Orlina and visit my website thomasorlina.com.
Ooh, so official. Hey guys, it's Megan Stecher. My website is a little out of date. I'll work on it, but you can follow me on my social media handles at Megan Stecher.
What did you guys think? We were just talking about this before it started. We weren't super excited about tonight's episode. It was good. It wasn't amazing to us. We're not really buying the whole Sonja and Dorinda just made up in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? We're not really buying that right now.
I was disappointed actually, just for TV purposes. You know, you want the drama to linger on a little bit longer, and it just seemed a little weird that, you know, the next day everything's good.
I didn't buy it when they had that awkward hug and Dorinda's like, we're fine, we're good, we're fine. Yeah. Dorinda's trying to put it to bed because she got out all of the nasty things she said, but I feel like Sonja's waiting for an apology. Like, it'll come up later that Sonja was like harboring the fact that she wanted an apology or something.
Yeah, it's almost like Dorinda gave her what Sonja wanted, because this is all material that she can use later. Like, you know, she was attacked and she gets to be the victim again later on. So
Right. I was just saying that I felt like a normal person that would get upset if they were getting yelled at a dinner table. Sonja's so calm and so almost satisfied because she knows that she's getting airtime. And I just feel like at this point she wants the airtime regardless. Because remember, when she's not invited to the parties, she's not invited to the tapings.
Yeah,
and that's more important. I don't think she really cares if she's invited places.
Speaking of that, I was kind of surprised at the end that they had her filming with her assistant.
Yeah.
To talk about Tinsley. It felt very set up to me that they set Sonja up. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hey, talk to your assistant, which is like, poor Sonja. She's having a hard time filming with people, so much so that they throw her assistant in the room and make her talk to him. And they set her up. They knew Tinsley was coming back in the door because obviously they had a camera on her while she walked in the door.
Yeah.
They set her up.
Yeah, Megan, sometimes that happens. I don't want. This might be a little bit fake. This show, just a little bit.
Poor Sonja.
There is a Santa Claus, though. I promise. But, Thomas, let's not spoil it completely for her. Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes I know it is surprising though, because why do it to Tinsley, who's been sticking up for Sonja? But I understand what you're saying. She's kind of like.
But it's like
has
this
to say yes.
never happened with Bethenny. Ever.
Oh, no.
She wouldn't allow this kind of BS to go on.
She wouldn't allow it, meaning on Tinsley's end or on Sonja's end? Like, who do you mean?
If she were either person.
Okay.
And I also...
And they wouldn't do that to her
Right,
either.
they wouldn't try to pull that stunt with her, which is why it makes me feel bad for Sonja, that they tried to make a fool of her.
You didn't think they did that last week with her when they just somehow Ramona knew that a Bethenny video had come out, and at that very moment that Bethenny's
it was
there,
in page 6, and Ramona religiously reads page 6.
Right, but you don't think that Ramona... I just can't think that Ramona's gonna think that at that very moment she should say. I felt like somebody was in her ear, and I think a lot of people were saying that as well in the chat, that like they thought that the producer said you should probably bring this up. We don't know for sure, but it's just like, come on, like at that very second.
That very well may have been because of the way she said it. It was so abrupt and out of nowhere.
Yeah. The delivery was just weird too.
So weird, even weird for Ramona. Okay, so Tinsley was worried about meeting Dorinda. That's how we started the episode at Ramona's party. You know, she was worried about it. But then Dorinda says to Tinsley, once they do meet, you know, there's not a person in this room that hasn't effed up. And that's because Tinsley, of course, does her amazing, "Hi, my name's Tinsley, and I've been to prison." Well, you know, and so, like, Dorinda's like, well, don't feel bad. But she has to do it with everybody. Props
to her for bringing it up. I mean, when you have something going on in your life that you just want to talk about and just nip it in the bud, I get that that's what she's doing, but it's going to be interesting to follow her story this season because I feel like she's so scared of doing anything with these women that, you know, in the housewife game, you have to be able to deliver. And it's going to be interesting to follow, like, how she evolves.
Yeah. I love this about Tinsley because I feel like I would do the same thing. I'd be like, "Hi, so someone will probably bring up to you in the next couple of weeks that I've been arrested for trying to terrorize my boyfriend over in a jealous rage. I just wanted you to hear it from me. It was all a big misunderstanding. Right. And my mugshot's terrible, but it's so nice to meet you."
Like, I pull it out of your purse.
Right. I feel like I would be that person, like, just before you even see it and think anything horrible about me, I'm not a terrible person, and this is all a big misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, it's so funny because every time she's meeting a new person, this is flying out of her mouth, and it's so funny.
Right, it's so true. It's
just
so
like
funny, though.
Her, like, verbal diarrhea, and it's
Yeah.
just the cutest to me.
Well, speaking of like verbal diarrhea, or something like that, LuAnn walks over to Sonja and LuAnn walks over to Dorinda and Tinsley, and she's like, brings up Sonja. Basically the first thing she does is brings up Sonja, and they're talking about her. They talk about her living with Sonja at this point. Mm-hmm. They mentioned something about her living with her, and I think LuAnn is just confused by why Tinsley's living in the bedroom, in Sonja's child's bedroom. She's confused about that, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's not the bridal suite.
It's not the bridal suite, right?
Her former room,
right? So it's kind of funny. We find out later that I guess she did bring someone home to Sonja's house to the bedroom with the dolls.
How dare Sonja be upset?
I know. Of all people, right?
She's just kind of being territorial because, and you know, I was going to bring this up. It is hard sometimes when you move in with your friends. I haven't done it yet, and I'm actually afraid to do it sometimes because.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Yeah, because it just doesn't, you know, the rules and everything. So I can see why Sonja feels territorial over it, but it gets kind of tricky because you're kind of territorial over the person. That's where it becomes an issue. So hopefully that's not their case, but we'll see.
I would say don't live with a friend. Live with someone very responsible and quiet and clean.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And who has panty soup, because that's what Sonja does.
What was going on there?
What was up with the panty soup, guys? Why? I don't know what's worse, the sex toys in the dishwasher or the panties in, like, the, what is that called? A bidet or whatever?
Bidet.
Yeah.
I mean, I love her scenes because she's so willing to, like, whatever the producers suggest, she's so willing. Yeah. So before her man of the week calls, she's already got the armful of panties and is pretending like she's about to wash them in the bidet for their date that evening. Like, she's just on it this year as far as what they want from her. It's very good.
It's so funny. And it's like, when you think about it, she's kind of relatable. Like, all girls probably wonder, like, they're all worrying, what panties am I going to wear? If you're going to have that night with that guy, you probably want to wear a nice pair of underwear. You probably want to make sure they're really clean. You want to make sure you're waxed, whatever. She makes sure that, like, everybody feels like they can relate to that, because in a sense some of us can. Yeah. So she's willing to go there. Yeah. Who else is? I don't know. I think that's really it. Who is, right? Who else is really willing to go that far into
She's a little bit extra.
A little extra, yeah. Okay, this part, guys, what happened? Dorinda and Sonja are sitting down and their imaginary friend is between them. And they're literally like as close as Thomas and I are right now, and if you're just listening audio-wise, we're really close. If I reach my arm out, I can touch him. And Sonja turns to Dorinda, she's like, "Oh, hi! I didn't see you there." There's like this random empty chair between the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and this is how it all starts. Sonja's literally being fake to her, and then Dorinda's like, "I'm not doing this. Let's just get the elephant in the room out of the room and talk about exactly what's going on." She says, "Shut your mouth."
Multiple times.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm not even on. Yeah, shut your mouth. What else? She said something else.
She said, "Put an easy pass on that Holland tunnel."
Yes. Let's take the elephant out of the room right now. Shut your mouth. Turnstile and ticket. Which we don't know what that means. If anybody knows what that means, let us know.
Fix
your
your
toilet
toilet
in your townhouse.
and his Edie Beals upstairs.
Did anybody else think that Dorinda had practiced this before she came?
Yeah,
Okay.
these were reads in front of the
Oh.
mirror that were like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what
These
is.
were so reads, right? They
Yeah.
were just like perfect jokes, but like
I think
just
like
perfectly written.
Dorinda, since she was heated, like weeks on end, has been like writing in her phone, like, oh, here's another one. Here's another good one.
Yeah.
Here's another one. I mean, just the Eva flowing out of her mouth. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my, this is sober Dorinda.
I know.
Yeah.
So
This is like-
what was it? Dorinda on Diet Coke.
I mean, we did watch her have a glass of wine or two in last week, right before Sonia
Right.
arrived. Like she was
We did
taking
see
like
that.
a
Who
last
said?
gulp
Carol said this is Dorinda on
on
Diet Coke. Yeah.
I think this is just really how Dorinda delivers things. When
Yeah.
she feels personally attacked, and she holds things in, she has to unleash. But like we saw the next day, it's like everything's fine. So I don't know. That's just what viewers are expecting from her. If she has an issue with somebody, she's definitely gonna, let them know how she feels.
Yeah.
It's like so mafia, old school. I was gonna look up what Michael Rappaport maybe had to say about Dorinda tonight.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
please do.
I know.
Let
Find
us know.
anything.
And then you also spotted somebody at the dinner table, Megan. Do you want to let everybody know who that
Oh,
was?
Candace Bushnell, who they kept showing, and also the next morning at LuAnn's brunch, is the woman who wrote the book Sex and the City that everyone's favorite show was based off of. So I was just like, oh my God, this is like real New York royalty. Like that's a socialite.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
so exciting.
Really cool, right?
I was like, oh, that's a good get for Ramona. Because she's always claiming she knows everyone, is in this great circle of like,
I love that you said it's a good get. That's
Yeah.
it's a
awesome.
good get for her.
She recruited her, right? Oh, leave it to Megan to spot somebody like that and
Yes.
give us a little.
I gasped. I was like,
I know.
She really did.
It was awesome.
She's given us so much.
I know.
You know what? Candace should be on this show, but I think she's probably not up for the BS. She's probably like, forget about it. I have my own money. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So then so LuAnn starts to interject, and she's also not very happy with Sonja and has her own problems with Sonja and is backing up Dorinda. Dorinda and LuAnn are best friends right now. And then Carole says nothing. She's not really into it. Ramona goes and sits between the two of them. She tries to work it out between them. But in some weird way, it's almost like they just make up quickly. It just happened so
do.
quickly. It was like either edited like that or they just literally got over it. But in the midst of that, Bethenny and Carole are on the phone, and Bethenny is in the car, and she says, I feel like I'm Joe Pesci in Home Alone because I'm sitting here and I'm watching everything
That
go
was
on
amazing.
inside.
So good.
Another time that it proves to us that Bethenny can do whatever she wants. Her
can.
feet are cemented firmly in the Bravo community, and she can just avoid whatever party she wants to avoid.
I know. And it doesn't look like she's going to Ramona's
She's
either.
earned that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ramona's not too happy that she's not there. Ramona said something like, she goes, Carole is Bethenny's best friend and up her butt. Do we agree?
I do.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I do think that that's a continuation of what went on last season. I mean, I don't have any issue with Carole. I think that she is an okay housewife, but I don't really feel like she brings it as much as the other women. I get the election part and Adam, and she was a writer, so I get the connection with her and Bethenny on the intellectual level. But I don't know.
Is she safe because she's friends with Bethenny? Because Bethenny has a lot to say, we assume.
I don't know. I don't think that she's completely safe.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think she's made a lot of effort this season in these 4 episodes so far. She's made a concerted effort to distance herself from being like crawled up Bethenny's butt. Or who said that last year, LuAnn?
Everybody.
I think, and Dorinda called her
Pretty
out
sure.
on it.
Yeah.
Like she only wanted to film with
I
her.
think she's trying to make an effort, but she's also trying to still be as good of a friend to Bethenny and really likes being around Bethenny. So therefore, she went to a party that Bethenny no longer wanted to go to, but still left early with Bethenny. So
Yeah.
she's trying to please both
Yeah.
sides. I'm hoping she doesn't start feeling like they're pulling on both of her arms and she's getting tugged both ways. I don't know. I think it's going okay for her right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's
And then
see.
Michael Rappaport said about this whole scene.
Yes, let me hear
he
it.
said, is somebody keeping a shut up count on Dorinda Medley tonight? Ooh, that's
He's
so
the
far the
best.
only specific tweet about
All right.
tonight's episode. He's doing a lot of sports tweeting tonight. Michael.
Michael, what are you doing?
Oh, he said, yo, man, John is still around? Wow. Hashtag Johnny Cleaners.
Oh my God.
Of course John's still around.
I
Right?
know.
Dorinda said she won't. Dorinda said she's not going to hold a grudge, and Ramona's mad that Bethenny didn't show up. Do you think that Dorinda's actually over it though? I don't.
I think she's going to keep she's going to be very sensitive when it comes to Sonja and be very cautious. And I don't think Sonja thinks they're completely made up either. I think there's a lot of
Sonja seems like she's somewhat in denial about the whole situation, like the way she
completely.
talks. Do you believe that she is?
Yeah.
When I wrote down tonight when she said, "Oh, I booked my trip to Phuket when I was still seeing Tom." So first off, she was saying the reason that she couldn't come to LuAnn's wedding, which she's actually not even invited to, is that she has a trip planned. And then she took a dig at LuAnn by saying, "Oh, I was still even dating Tom when I planned this." Which, to me, Sonja's not a planner. Like, she's
so not over Tom.
Her intern is, she's not over it. And it's hard to watch because, you want to root for her. It seems like this new Frenchie man hopefully will stay around. But it's hard for her. I think she's definitely wishing that she was in LuAnn's position. Maybe not exactly with Tom, but in the position of getting married, planning a wedding. I don't know. I just feel like she's just been missing that piece in her life for a while now.
Why do you think she's not in LuAnn's shoes? She's been with Tom off and on for so many years. I don't think she would have said no if he asked her to marry him.
Okay,
Why are they not together?
You know how at the end of the episode, the teaser for next week, she said, well, there's men you sleep with and there's men you marry. I think many men look at her as a woman you sleep with. They know her reputation for drinking too much and being out all night and sleeping with
LuAnn has a similar reputation.
I think the Countess and all the history of that life kind of just stayed with her, so people kind of look at her a little bit differently.
Yeah, out of the two of them, for sure. I think Bethenny's probably the only one that really exposed or, that information about LuAnn or what she believes, which is not as positive.
It seemed like it was just a stunt.
Yeah.
This seems like it has been going on for Sonja for a while, so maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe Sonja expects more of people, like Tom. I think Tom and LuAnn have an agreement, the way that maybe Bethenny talks about them, that there's some shady stuff that goes on in their relationship, but they're both cool with it. And I think maybe Sonja thinks if there's going to be a man that marries her, that he needs to be, it needs to be a right and tight marriage, like a very traditional marriage. And she thinks of men who don't want that kind of thing as she would want to marry them. But they're not thinking of her in that way.
Right. So I look at it, I'm like, all those years they were together, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, he's getting married to LuAnn, and that has to be devastating for her. And I know I keep saying it, but it really it's bothering her so much.
Yeah,
it's so devastating to see the man that you've been with for so many years off and on, that you have a relationship with for all these years, and you can never text them again, you can never call them again, you can never sleep with them again. Like, she can't do any of that again. That's her life. And she just wants to keep reminding LuAnn, like, hey, like, I've known him forever. I've known him so long.
It's time to put that to bed at some point.
All right, so. They're all at Ramona's the next day. They're having brunch or whatever, and the same time, Sonja and Tinsley are together, and they're walking over there, and they start to overhear a conversation between the girls talking about last night and what went down with Dorinda and Sonja.
We see that twice tonight with the whole, we're eavesdropping, we're listening in the hallway, so it's just kind of suspicious.
If they were going to employ that trick, if the producers are going to employ that trick, like split it up between different episodes.
Yeah, you're right, guys.
Because it's too obvious tonight.
Yeah. It's like, wait, don't go in. Hold on. And then, I did notice that Dorinda was looking in the hallway too. And if there's a big camera following the two women, you're going to see like a crew coming in. So I don't know.
Good
we'll
point.
See.
Yeah, we will see. So then they're both spying, and then they walk in, and what happens? They're just like talking. Nothing really happened in that season.
Well, the best part was that the Countess is trying to tell Dorinda, before the other women arrive and walk into the room, Countess is trying to tell Dorinda, you're such an elegant lady.
Oh,
and
wait, that was this scene?
And she goes,
that scene.
And she goes, I am. I'm sorry. I love Dorinda. She is not an elegant lady.
I didn't know that was that scene. I have a big star next to it. We all gasped. The three of us gasped. What the heck? What? Who are you to say who's elegant, first of all? Like, why are you the
Elegance
whole
is
elegant
learned.
thing? Right, elegance is learned.
I mean, the Countess, the
such an
Countess thing
elegant
has gone away from me. Like, I see her exposed as, like, the rough-voiced woman who parties too hard. Yeah. And I just can't with her and Dorinda thinking that they're elegant, classy people.
Yeah. Did Dorinda agree?
She
did.
I am.
She did? Oh,
yeah.
God. Oh, my God. I have to go watch that
They're
again.
fast friends this year. I'll tell you what.
Well,
Yeah.
it's because Dorinda introduced her to Tom. Dorinda's
She
the
kinda
only
changed
one
her
who
life.
doesn't want to say anything bad about Tom because she'll take the brunt of like creating a relationship that doesn't work. She wants it to work.
Probably all able to hang out with each other in a couple
sure.
setting, and it's not weird. Like they're not judging John for being John the dry cleaner, as Bethenny likes to say.
Yep.
And try to make him look bad. And they're not judging. She and John are not judging Tom.
Right.
They are like,
Yeah.
we knew Tom forever. He's a friend. We introduced them.
She's actually in a really good place. She seems really happy with John. I mean, she's friends with the majority of people. I mean, Sonja's kind of an outsider in this whole equation. So
Yeah.
I feel like Dorinda's in a good place as far as I'm concerned watching.
She seems it, yeah. I mean, well, we haven't seen any John this season, so I feel like a lot of the
ready.
times we've seen her really drunk or whatever is when she's around John.
Yeah.
True,
You know,
true.
or he'll
Maybe
be showing
she's-
up or something.
Maybe she's purposely trying to keep him away this year from filming.
I
Because
think
that's
there
when
were-
she would look really
I
bad.
would
Yeah,
assume.
I think there were articles online of her saying that he was going to be minimized in the show. Like, they weren't going to do too much of him.
Very smart of her to do that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I'm sure he had something to do with that too. I'm sure he didn't want to be on it.
Yeah.
sure he's
Really? I feel like he was always desperate to be on it.
I think there was
think
a point
so?
though where he was so emasculated by some of the comments that were made to him by Bethenny. Like
That's
she was
true.
so harsh with him. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with it. I have to go back and really listen to it
These
again.
husbands
but
try
yeah.
it, though. There's Peter from Atlanta. There's
Yeah.
PK on Beverly
PK,
Hills.
PK got screwed. Oh God, he went up against Erica Jane, and Erica Jane is like going up against Bethenny because those girls, when they believe something, they will not let it go. They're just
Yeah.
like, that's it. That's
So I think John Medessian is kind of taking a backseat, which is a good idea for him.
yeah.
I love that you just used his last name.
Yeah, I know, it's
let's-
amazing.
Yeah.
It's
she
amazing.
loves to call him by his full
I
name
know,
too. I
yeah,
gotta
I
give
know,
it to
right?
Dorinda.
That's like Lisa Rinna calling her husband
Oh,
Harry
Oh my
Hamlin.
God, Harry Hamlin.
Like
yeah.
her husband's in her phone as Harry Hamlin.
Yeah, she loves it.
So they walk in, and Sonja she says Dorinda didn't mean anything. She says to Tinsley when walking, she didn't mean anything about it when she I can't even read my own writing tonight. I'm sorry, guys. They're spying. Ramona and Sonja talk, and Sonja says that she lets a lot slide with LuAnn, and that she's invited, and that she is invited to the wedding.
Right. Another weirdo.
Another delusional
Yeah.
What the
statement.
heck?
And it's weird because, you know, Ramona makes all these comments in her confessional, but then at the end of the season, it's like Sonja forgets or they just don't care that that's just the way that Ramona is. You know, Ramona gets away with a lot of snarky moments, too, in the season.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they let her get away with
No,
that.
Yeah.
right?
I
Exactly.
wouldn't.
Well,
and Ramona at the brunch saying, "Who disinvites somebody?"
she does.
Exactly. And
She
then-
does it on purpose. She says this stuff on purpose.
And
Yeah,
then we
she-
get the flashback from the episode before. Like I just don't understand like
She had
what
a line-
reality this
yeah.
woman operates in.
How?
It's
How?
crazy.
So then there's Tao.
Yeah.
Tao?
I've been there. It's really good.
I've been there too, actually. I
Vegas?
can't even
New
say
York?
it. I've been to the one in New York.
Oh, I've been to the one in Vegas.
Did you like it?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Have
I
you guys
recognized
ever
it.
been to Budokan?
No.
I was
but
wondering if
didn't
how
the
they're
girls
different.
go there last year on one of the episodes?
I'm not sure. They filmed there in the Sex and the City movie where Carrie and Big's
Yes.
rehearsal dinner was at Budokan, and I was
Okay.
wondering like maybe what the difference between like cuisine and decor.
Oh,
is,
I don't.
'cause
I
it
just
looks-
had drinks. I don't remember.
Just seeing it on film, it looks very similar to me.
Yeah.
If anybody lives in New York, let us know.
They have a town now
NYC
here,
girls.
too. Did you know that?
No.
Here?
They're opening up one in
it
Hollywood.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like right
Where?
where the Dream Hotel is.
Is it right
Dream
by
Hotel. Where's that?
the
I live in Hollywood.
Essex? Is it right by Beauty and Essex?
Kind of in that area. Have you been to Mama Shelter?
No.
Okay, I'll tell you guys. There's
Oh,
like
okay.
this rooftop. It's in a really new area, and they just
Ooh.
opened it. Yeah.
Really?
We
Okay.
should go.
Well, let's film from there one night.
I know. Yes. This is the LA life, guys.
Right? Dorinda, if you're listening and you're still in LA, we want you to come out.
I know,
and,
Dorinda. Come join us.
Okay, so then we have the Tao drinks, Tinsley, Dorinda, and LuAnn. And they're talking about Ramona's turning 60, and instead of that party where she just has those ladies who lunch, they want to step it up for her. Last year
exciting.
was the party, right? When LuAnn gave Bethenny... Didn't LuAnn give Bethenny a purse? Was that? Yeah. It was at the party for Ramona, right? She didn't bring a gift for Ramona, but she brought a gift for Bethany. Am I
Right, like she like
wanna say it is,
re-gifted.
yeah.
She
or-
re-gifted a purse or
She
something.
gave her jewelry that she didn't like. Like LuAnn gave
There's a-
jewelry from her HSN line or her clothing
Yeah.
line
Yeah.
to Ramona, and Ramona's like, ugh, I don't like this, and I already saw it once. And then Bethenny got like a very nice
Handbag.
We looked up the name
handbag.
of it last year. I remember we looked it up. It was
Carlos
expensive.
Falchi?
Yeah, God, Megan
How did I
Stecher.
remember
Megan
that?
Stecher.
Yes.
of course.
Because it was a big deal, I guess. I remember.
Yeah, and so she gave that to Bethenny, and Rowan's like, who brings a gift for someone else on my birthday? And yeah, I just got deja vu when I saw that scene, and they were all wearing red, and that's kind of Bethenny's color, and I think Ramona was wearing red, and Dorinda was wearing red. And yeah, it was like all fiasco.
This party sounds exciting, though,
This
because
is gonna be
Ramona,
exciting.
I mean, her and her girlfriends, they always throw really nice parties, especially if it's for Ramona. Looks like she's having 2 parties.
I mean, it's so many people for that birthday luncheon, so I'm wondering, like, how many people will be at a surprise party that's not that sit-down luncheon.
Right. So while Sonja was making the panty soup, do you guys think it was brave of Tinsley to go out with Sonja's friends?
Yes, and not smart to not tell Sonja.
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't want to tell her, and I was like, oh, here we go. This is all she cares about is being left out of friend stuff.
Yeah.
She had one leg to stand on, which was that Sonja did tell her, go ahead and be friends with my friends outside of just hanging out with me.
Right.
Which is probably BS that she had got told to say by a producer so that Tinsley could go film with people.
Totally. I think, like, in my opinion about that, I think that, you know, she should have told Sonja because as a friend, if she's staying there, she probably should have let her know. It's like if I had one of my friends hang out and, like, go hang out with my friends and not tell me, then I'd be like, you know, what's going on? Mm-hmm. But for purposes of the reality show, it's like, of course you're not going to tell Sonja. I mean, this is a chance for her to, you know, mingle with the other ladies and, you know, it causes some conflict. Mm-hmm. So it
does indeed.
Reality and reality TV.
Question. LuAnn says men love damsels in distresses. Do we agree?
I don't know. Maybe
I feel like it's so old school. I don't feel like today
that's very old school.
Very old fashioned. No?
Yeah, I feel like men love to be pampered. They don't really want. I think men love crazy when it comes to the bedroom.
Okay.
Like they get, if they meet a girl out at the bar and she seems a little wild and fun, and you know you have your like one night stand, like they like
Depends
that.
Depends what their agenda is that
right.
night.
I think like if it's a fun texting relationship and hooking up, like sometimes that seems a little fun. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. For sure. I think that LuAnn has such an old school way of looking at relationships, like, or she acts like she does. I just feel like that's so silly to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Tinsley's talking about her arrest and everything, same stuff. And then we have John, and unless you guys want to bring up anything else about Tao in that.
I just thought it was interesting, like seeing shades of Tinsley tonight.
Shades of Tinsley. Ooh.
The way she worded about her, because she's been telling everybody right away, like, oh, I got arrested and it was horrible. But the way she worded the way that her record is going to be expunged was, I'm going to be wiped clean of all my drama that happened to me. So it's kind of like she's really not taking responsibility for or copping to anything that's been written about her, as far as like she's the one that went bonkers on him at his own home.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's a very good point. I agree with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like she is taking responsibility. She is owning it, because she's not denying that it happened, but she's not owning her part as to what happened, it seems.
Right.
Like and that's why she's like, but she did say no one wants to date someone who's like stalked their ex-boyfriend or something, whatever she said. Like no one wants to date someone like that. So she acknowledges that it made her look crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
that'll be interesting too to see like where her love life goes, you know. It's interesting because we're seeing somebody on the Real Housewives of New York that is kind of rebuilding, you know, their lives, and it's interesting to see because we kind of know the women on this series already. Mm-hmm. For her, it'll be interesting to see where she ends up.
Yes.
You know, former It Girl.
It's weird because the past few seasons we've had like a much younger woman than the. I feel like Bethenny's maybe in the middle, but for the most part, it's always like.
How old was Jules? Like 32 or something? Young, right?
She was young.
Yeah, like mid-30s, and then Kristen, same thing.
Kristen was really young, yeah.
And so I think Tinsley's about the exact same age as those other two women, and they've not been connecting with everybody and kind of been like a rotating door. So I'm wondering if Tinsley will click in somehow with this group.
I don't know.
She's got a good level. She's got a good level of crazy to start with. She doesn't look crazy to me yet, but her past is like a good record to fit in with these women.
Yes.
She's kind of like making her way, like she's building the image up for the first 4 episodes. We'll see later on episode 12 and 13 where she ends up.
It's crazy enough though because Jules was in her own way crazy and, you know, did some wacko things, and like Kristen wasn't anything. I felt like Kristen was just a nice girl. But it's crazy enough. I don't know. I feel like they need to have some more luxury, some more fabulousness for one of these girls because they have money, but because it's older money, you don't really see them flaunting it a lot. We don't really know. We don't see a lot of designers. It's not like we need like the Lisa Vanderpump there because we have Bethenny with all this money. Dorinda has tons of money, but we don't get to see it. We don't get to see the luxury of high society New York living.
Yeah.
So hopefully Tinsley brings some of that because the other girls couldn't. Jules had money, and Kristen had money, but they didn't have money. Like.
Someone get on a private plane or a helicopter
Please,
now.
thank you. Bring Lisa Vanderpump there. Or Bethenny, just step it up. I love Bethenny because she's still so herself, even though she has so much money. You don't really see. Okay, so then we have John and Dorinda at a laundromat. Not much there. Due to timing, we might skip over that. Carole named all her pets baby. Aww. Funniest scene ever. Bethenny's like, you wrote a novel, but you can't find names for 3 of your animals.
That was
so funny.
Such a good Bethenny moment.
Oh my God.
But I really loved this moment where Carole said, I don't want to be married, and I don't know why I feel so bad admitting that. And I was like, oh, that's such a big one.
Yes.
Like, women never want to admit that. And she admitted that after how many seasons? Is this like her 3rd or 4th season?
So I think 3rd season.
Third. She's finally admitting that on camera. Meanwhile, she's been with this young man for so long. It's
2 years.
It's really letting us into the real Carole.
It's because she has her independence. She's had it for so long that she could make her kitchen into an office. She could do whatever she wanted. And then all of a sudden, there's this moment where this man comes in. She loves being loved, but do you, as an independent woman or as an independent man, and you've had that for so long, do you want to give that up completely and not have your place to yourself 100%? Because once you move in with someone, you're there. Like, there's no, like, I'll have one day to myself.
Right. It's basically a marriage without the certificate. You can't get away from each other. So, yes.
And she calls it shacking to, like, lower the pressure of the situation.
Exactly.
Do you think he feels the same way, or do you think he just kind of feels that way because she feels that way? Because we don't really get to see his response to it.
I don't know. He seems like so easygoing. It's almost like, oh, whatever you want, whatever's easiest. To me, in my mind, that's what he would be saying.
It'll be like disheartening if he really does want to get married with her. You know, that's always like a guy's worst feeling. It's like Scott wanting to marry Kourtney on Kardashians. You know, I mean, it's devastating, especially if he was even thinking about that. So I think it's just maybe a Carole thing. Maybe she's scarred from the last marriage, and maybe she really feels that way.
And I wonder, she may have been honest with him already about this, and we just don't know.
Right.
Like, it might be something that's well known to him.
I mean, there's not, it's tough because he's so much younger. Could it really even work? He would have to not want to have kids. I don't think she wants to have kids, I would assume. And is it really going to work? I think she's just being so realistic, but she doesn't want to go there mentally. That, like, it won't, she wants to just be in the moment. It's so much fun right now, but if you start thinking about that stuff, it's not going to make it fun.
Right, kind of like how she thinks about, I only have 5 good summers left. It's like, at what point is she going to be, like, geriatric being taken care of by her young, handsome husband, you know? And I think that's a definite fear.
Totally, yeah. So Bethenny talks about her divorce a little bit, how brutal it is right now. She has knots in her back. And then they talk about even if she did make up with Ramona, they still wouldn't get along. What is that about?
I just wrote down her quote in this moment. She said, I've never forgiven someone so many times for being so despicable. And I was like, oof.
Oh, okay, so that's probably what,
That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, sorry, we had a lot of, I'm going to throw some people under the bus. We had a lot of noise in the room with a lot of other people watching shows, and we're very loud, and we tried our best to hear at the end, so that's why my notes are a little bit, I didn't know I couldn't hear too much. So Sonja was mad that everyone went to Tao, we know that, and she says Rocco, the owner of Tao, like, called her and said, I mean, really, first of all, okay, no, that doesn't happen. Like, the owner's going to be like, why aren't you here? All your friends are here. I mean, maybe he would, but...
Is that the guy that was at the dinner party last year with the giant napkins that she was, like, next to at the dinner table?
He's handsome. I think this guy's, like, a really handsome guy, Rocco. I think that this is the Rocco
the chef?
The Tao owner?
Yeah. I think he's a good-looking guy. I could be wrong.
Oh, Rocco DeSpirito.
I think it's him, right?
I'll Google it.
Yeah, I think that's him. But regardless, she knows, and she's not happy with the situation, and this is how we kind of end off with the whole you know, she feels kind of scorned. And
if she found out about it, I'll bet she just read about it in a newspaper or online. It was like, oh, spotted LuAnn and Dorinda filming New York Housewives
crazy do
scene
you
at
think
Tao.
that life is, where you're just like completely reading things in the trades and just like living
I think it's
life?
hilarious that Ramona is so into Page Six. It's like, honey, that is so old school. Like, I'm reading
Download the
blogs.
app.
I'm reading 8 different blogs a day about what you've been up to, and she's so obsessed with Page Six. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, going back to the scene with Dorinda and Sonja, one of the reasons Dorinda was really mad at Sonja is because she said, like, you wrote all these things about my family, and she's like, I don't really remember. I don't think I would have done that. I don't think I did that. So I feel like they all have someone at every one of these outlets, like Us Weekly and like Page Six, on the speed dial, and they're just like, oh my God, this just went down right now. They all have to have that. It's the only way they stay relevant is through press. So I'm not putting it back. I think that's why they forget sometimes that they say it, because Sonja probably does it a lot.
That's what makes
Something wrong with it. They have to do it to stay in the show.
That's kind of what makes New York unique, is that everybody is talking about papers and things like that. On other franchises, I mean, no one cares about that.
Never.
It's so like LA to just be online on like a website.
Exactly.
So.
Okay, the Rocco from last season came up.
Oh, that's not the Rocco. That's okay. Well, no offense.
Rocco from last season came up.
Not the same Rocco I was thinking of.
When I wrote about Tao, when I said Tao, New York, Rocco, and Rocco from last season
okay.
came up.
Yeah, he's
okay,
older guy.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Different guy that I'm thinking. But yeah, so that's if that did happen, it's very childlike that Sonja would get upset about it. I understand though at the same time, like, if I'm letting someone stay with me and they know that I have a beef with some of the girls and then they go out and they don't tell me, I would have rather have said, Sonja, I got invited here. It's listen, I'm staying at your house, so like, if you don't feel comfortable with me going, I won't go. But I would like to go. I really would like to. I think Sonja would be more respectful to it.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I mean, I'm not saying ask for permission, but in a sense, kind of ask for permission in a way.
Unless she's doing that for just starting up some drama on the show.
Well, of course, yeah.
Then maybe, I guess. But yeah, she should have definitely told Sonja.
Yeah. But she didn't. And so that's when she walks in, she sees Sonja's upset about it and she's talking about it. And but they make up. Sonja's so should Tinsley say something to Sonja every time she goes out with her friends from here on in, do we think?
I don't think it's every time. I think it should be addressed once, like to a point where Sonja gets it, which is going to be a long conversation. But I think like once they have that conversation, you don't have to keep telling somebody that every time. I don't think.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be all season. I think this is going to be Sonja's storyline of like, I'm still left out and hurt.
But this is so Ramona, the next thing she does, which is like, you didn't buy me a birthday card. But she's like, so Tinsley's like, I gave you a candle though. She's like, well, you didn't give me a birthday card. You didn't give me a birthday card. You gave me a candle for something else. I feel like that was so like inappropriate to call someone out on. I feel like that's something Ramona would do just because she would just think it and she would just say it accidentally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was just like one of the
so
weirdest
weird.
things I've
They
heard
have so
tonight.
much money too. It's like if I had that much money, I'd love buying gifts. I would be like bringing such awesome gifts to my friends on birthdays and stuff. The fact that like they can barely get a gift out of each other unless it's like re-gifted or they get a candle or not even a card. Like girls, like that's why it's like they have so much money, but like spend it.
Yeah, totally.
Please show us something. Go to Chanel, please. Like sometimes I just want to see these girls buy something and like and enjoy the luxuries of high society living. You know?
Agreed.
But anyway, so let's get into some predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm super excited for next week because I saw a whole bunch of previews that look great, and it looks like Carole's gonna slip and accidentally tell Ramona about her surprise party. So I'm excited for the fallout to see if Ramona plays along. I feel like she's gonna play along and try to be like, oh, I'm so surprised.
Yeah. I think I'm still curious to see if Bethenny and Ramona are going to sit down and talk about the whole, soft porn tape and all that. So maybe that might be in next season. Next episode, perhaps.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I just want to see Dorinda and Sonja in a room together because I know they're not over anything yet, and I want to see it. I want to see it play out a little bit longer. We've been waiting. We waited for a while for this. That can't be it.
Yeah.
Come on.
We need a little bit more.
All right. God, where can we find you all? Starting with you, Megan?
Guys, find me online. And all my social media handles are all the same. It's Megan Stecher. It's MEGANSTECHER. And I love chatting housewives with you, so tweet me.
Hey guys, I'm Thomas Orlina. Find me everywhere online at Thomas Orlina, and check out my website, thomasorlina.com. I love reading your comments on YouTube. I mean, our comment box is really on fire this season. So we really appreciate it.
We read every one of them too, and we love you guys. Thank you so much for commenting all the time. And make sure to subscribe, comment, and rate us on iTunes and YouTube. And you can find me on Twitter at Ashley Daniels. Instagram is Miss Ashley Daniels, and we will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.